So a little bit about us. We started in the UK, we came to India in 2012. We like to believe that we're pioneers in the sense that we're one of the first companies in India that took the organic fraction of the municipal solid waste stream, put it in a biogas plant to create raw biogas. But then the new thing with this is we've developed purification technology that can turn that raw biogas into fuel grade. So our solution, we believe, uniquely can solve all three of those major issues. So essentially, we work with waste management vendors, either the municipal authority where they're doing it, or as I'll talk about in Bangalore, a private waste management company that can pick up separated organic waste. It can bring it into our biogas plants where we convert it into our two carbon-friendly products, which we can then sell. So a little bit about us. We started in the UK, we came to India in 2012. We like to believe that we're pioneers in the sense that we're one of the first companies in India that took the organic fraction of the municipal solid waste stream, put it in a biogas plant to create raw biogas. But then the new thing with this is we've developed purification technology that can turn that raw biogas into fuel grade methane. And what we've done is we've packaged that up in unique cylinders, which we ship to restaurants and hotels to displace LPG for commercial cooking. And then we take the digestate slurry from the digester and we turn that into a carbon-enriched organic fertilizer, which we sell to farmers to put back into the soil. So that solution solves three big problems that not only India has today, but right across the developing world. If that organic fraction ends up in a landfill, it degrades and releases methane, which is a toxic greenhouse gas. It has a global warming potential 25 to 30 times greater than carbon dioxide. So that's a major problem impacting India. Now, if you think about fossil fuels, India's importing 85% of its oil and 50% of its gas. That's not the place to be in the world today, either from an energy security point of view, the foreign exchange risk by taking rupees and having to buy oil and gas in dollars, as well as the carbon emissions from that. And then the third issue, which I think is for India an even bigger issue, is unless we address the soil organic carbon or the lack of soil organic carbon in our soils, we won't be able to grow enough food to feed the nation and as it grows in population. So our solution, we believe, uniquely can solve all three of those major issues. So essentially, we work with waste management vendors, either the municipal authority where they're doing it, or as I'll talk about in Bangalore, a private waste management company that can pick up separated organic waste. It can bring it into our biogas plants where we convert it into our two carbon-friendly products, which we can then sell. The important thing about that model, because I'm getting revenue from the gas and the fertilizer, it makes the whole thing far more economically viable than the previous attempts to turn biogas into power or just to use for domestically. So the two products that we produce, we have a gas. The gas is packed under very high pressure. We ship it to restaurants. It's a lower cost than LPG. It cooks better than LPG. It's a more efficient gas to use. So as well as the savings they're getting from the per kg price, our customers can save anywhere from 10 to 15% of their costs when they convert from LPG to carbon lights. So they're saving costs and they're saving carbon emissions. On the organic fertilizer side, the slurry that you get from a biodigester, all the research in the world says it's nutrient rich. But we combine that with other biomass, particularly garden waste, in a windrow composting process that produces a nutrient-rich, carbon-enriched fertilizer, which has about 18% carbon in it. So when you're putting that in the soil, you're putting carbon back in the soil. So our go-to-market model, we have a separate organized division that can build these plants. We can also have a way of selling, marketing and distributing the products from those plants. So in Siddipet, we commissioned a plant with the municipal authority to handle that city's complete organic waste. And we were helped in that because we were sponsored by Sri Harish Rao, who was the finance minister in the Telangana government at the time, who wanted us to build a plant that could manage all that waste in 100 days. Well, we managed it in 100 days, but it was 100 dry days, because what we hadn't realized as we started, Siddipet tends to get a lot of wet weather. So we actually achieved it in 100 dry days. So what it is we built the plant on land previously used as a landfill. Now on that plant, they'd already had an effluent treatment system. And they had a dry waste recycling center. So we complemented that now by building a plant that could take 10 tons of organic waste. The important thing to recognize is, prior to us starting, the town of Siddipet embarked on a widespread program of separation of waste at source. So the beauty of the way this worked, and I heard the earlier speaker, the frustration that you're asked to separate your waste, and then you see the contractor putting both sets of waste in the same place. Well, that's largely because you need a facility to process that wet waste before you ask citizens to separate. The good news was we were able to do that in Siddipet. So we get 10 tons of good quality separated waste into our plant every day, and we convert that to gas, which we sell to local restaurants. We also get about 15 tons of garden waste and other organic waste, which we use to make our fertilizer. So we're using the city's entire organic waste now and turning that into two products that we can then sell in the marketplace. Now, we inaugurated the plant in 21, and it's been running successfully for the last couple of years. So we essentially took that landfill and we turned it into an energy and fertilizer plant. Some work that is ongoing, but we started several years ago where we won a contract to build a small-scale biogas plant right in the heart of Bangalore, in Cormangala. And unlike like our previous speaker, in this execution, we built the anaerobic digesters inside a reused shipping container. Now, the reason we did that was because what you can't see here is there's a high tension wire in this particular piece of BPMP land. You can't build on it. You also can't put large circular anaerobic digesters. So we kicked off with a small 4-ton plant in recycled shipping containers. Now, we also purified the gas and piped it over the back wall straight into a restaurant. So there we're taking the city waste that's brought in by the municipal contractors, separated, we're putting it in those digesters to create gas. Now, beyond that now, because that's been so successful, we've just recently won a tender where we're refurbishing 7 defunct small-scale biogas plants in the city, and we're building 4 new ones. So by the end of the year, we'll have nearly 15 biogas plants across the city processing the waste at a ward level. Now, interestingly, in Bangalore, the waste contractors, instead of taking the waste to landfill, were dumping it in quarries, in lakes, and the citizens were so angry, they eventually got a high court case where the Supreme Court ruled that the BPMP must create decentralized organic processing centers at a ward level. And this is the solution which precisely meets that. Now, back to what we're talking about. These kinds of initiatives cannot happen unless you get community support at the bottom and political support at the top. That's some key learning about how you're going to make Hyderabad a zero-waste city. You need community development. Yeah, so just see the impact of that. For a plant that's taking nearly 50 tons of waste a day, which the sugar mills will move to, we're saving nearly 18,000 tons of carbon from the waste diverted. We displaced the LPG and we reduced the amount of chemical fertilizers. also create 31 jobs. So we think we achieved nearly 9 out of the 17 SDG goals by building an end-to-end biogas plant. So the key learnings is, to make this work, you're going to have to get separation at source. It's key, from both bulk generators and domestic collection. So the SMW rules, which are a fantastic piece of legislation, frankly, it just needs implementing. And you need to ensure that it does get implemented. But clearly, partnerships and collaboration are absolutely key. No one has a silver bullet with this thing. No one vendor can do it. We couldn't do it on our own. You need the support of the community. You need support from the local authorities in order to do that. But I think, as part of your journey, biomethanation should be a key part, because it's a fantastic solution. The government in Delhi is really pushing. It set a target under the SATAT program to build 5,000 large-scale CBG plants across the next few years. And the oil companies will take the gas and sell it in their bunks. The city gas distribution networks will mandatory have to blend nearly 5% of their gas with this gas. So the opportunity to build a large-scale CBG industry is great for India, because you're not taking rupees, turning it into dollars to buy foreign oil. You can generate your own energy, which also solves your waste problem, not only municipal solid waste. It will solve the rice burning issue in Delhi. You can help an ailing sugar industry, who are already now doing very well supplying the raw material for bioethanol, which the country is also blending. It can provide press mud in order to create biomethane. So a fantastic solution that can really solve many of the issues, but it requires not only the technology and the vendor, it requires community support and political support. So I wish you the very best of luck in your journey, and I hope some of this has been helpful to you as you now embark upon that journey. Thank you very much indeed.